What is up, YouTube, man? Your boy Sonic King Fit back with another video, man. We're going to get right to the action. You know, I don't like to play around. Yes, we are doing overhead press, behind the neck, standing. As you can see, I'm hitting these reps pretty solid, and I love what I'm getting from myself at this particular point. It's early on. It's the first set. And behind the neck, you see me do it seated. It's a very difficult exercise, but I love this exercise. It just creates so much more power, so much more stability, so much more control that you have to have over the barbell that I just didn't know was there. And so I can see myself, I can see my physique actually really begin to form. And, I'm not trying to say got a bodybuilder physique or anything, but I can see the physique that I have. It's really starting to shape up. So, I went right to the pulls there, the behind the neck pulls as well. Guys, this is also creating more power. So if you're looking to create more power into your program, those are two great exercises. So we started at 135. And 135, I'm not going to say it's light for standing or sitting, but if you can handle 135, and you should be, if you're following what I do and you're consistent with what you're doing, 135 is still going to work you, but you should be able to get quite a few reps. I'm doing sets of 10. But as you can see, you can't really, when you're doing standing behind the neck, you can't really do a push press with it. You can kind of get your knees going a little bit, but it's not like you can't get a good nice shove like you're doing, with your standard overhead to make it a literal push press. So you have to have way more control with that exercise when you're doing it behind the neck. It just puts you in more of a compromised position, like I stated before. But we're going to the pulls again, and these two exercises, you put them together, it just, like I said, it creates a lot more power, a lot more control. Guys, I've stated before, and I'll say it again. I always build for power. You want to build for power. You want to build for strength. Kind of power and strength are kind of the same thing, depending on how you use it. But you see how hard I'm gripping that bar on the pull-ups. So, if you build power and it'll increase your strength, you can virtually lift, this 405 thing I'm doing, I'm going to get to this pretty quick. I'll be at 405 before the end of the year is over. I promise you. I could be at it at the end of probably like October or something like that. It just depends. But, these exercises and the way I'm doing them create so much power that your strength gains just go really just through the roof. So now I got this angle from the rear because I wanted to see what my delts look like doing this exercise. And so for anybody that says that vertical pressing doesn't work, your rear delts are crazy, because here it is. You can see my rear delts working. Of course, the triceps, and I'm really pretty much the whole back side. If I had my shirt off, you'd probably see even more. But that's an exercise that really, really works your rear delts, your complete delts, honestly, because it's so hard to maintain control of that barbell. That's 155, by the way. And I just wanted you guys to see that, because I've gotten into debates with people and they say that, pressing doesn't work your rear delts. And I just 100% disagree with that at all, fully. You've seen it right there that it does work your rear delts. So I really don't do a lot of rear delt work as far as like pec deck and, the dumbbells. I really don't do dumbbells with the rear delt flies or whatever they call it stuff. Vertical presses does it all, man. So for me, I'm good. And, not just that, you get stronger. Now we're at 165. You guys can count the reps. I was trying to do 5 with 165. Starting to feel a little exhausted going at pretty much this point. So I think that's 3, and then we hit 4 right there. But the 5th rep definitely made me feel a little exhausted, and I was unable to get it, but I was okay with the 4. It was still pretty good. The goal was 5, but we did get 4. Obviously, the next time we do it, it'll be 5. We want to push for 5. So yeah, we're going right to the pulls again. Yeah, these behind the neck pull-ups, they're tough, man. As you can see, I'm starting to get a little gassed doing them. Just because when I'm pulling further into this exercise, and I'm not sure what that is. Oh, that's 175. Okay. This is where it gets tough. Trying to hit 175. You can see that at that particular point, doing 175, just getting it up and over is getting tough. Now I got to take it up above my head from the rear. So this is where it starts to working. You start to get way more fatigue sooner. You know, that's pretty difficult right there, hitting those 2 reps. And the day before I did it for 3, so I came right back the next day and felt good about it. So probably should have rested on it, but you know, I still got it done. You know, I'm never short of putting out full effort back-to-back days repeatedly. So, you know, I might do this exercise again the following day, just to see how much I can handle. I have taken some rest days. I really don't take a lot of rest days, but I've taken some rest days. In the last couple of weeks, I'll take last week before this week, I took 2 back-to-back rest days, and I did come and hit it pretty hard. As far as like getting back into my workout, I was actually surprised with the reps I was able to hit the following day when I came off my rest day. But here's 185, and that was just a bit too heavy for me at that particular point. So, and even after I was unable to get it, it was just as difficult to rack it, because when you're racking that, you have to maintain control behind your neck. So I had to figure out a way to get it racked. So good thing I had the mirror. Otherwise, there's a mirror in front of me that I can see, so I was able to rack it. But if I didn't have that mirror, it would have been a lot tougher to rack it. But yeah, I was able to do it. So, but that's the pure thing about doing this behind the neck press. You don't know if you're going to be able to do it, and then once you're unable to do it, you have to figure out a way. Even without the spot that I needed, I had to rack it. So you still have to use a lot more strength than you think just to rack it. So on the incline bench, and I know you guys are probably wondering, man, he's doing another incline bench video. Yeah, and because if you do incline bench on a regular basis, the other 2 forms of bench, which are flat and decline, those numbers theoretically should improve, because doing incline is the hardest form of doing bench. Now, this is a 30-degree bench. Now, some of those power lifters and, competition guys who do strongman competition, most of those guys don't do 30 degrees. They typically do 45 and 60. So I may try to figure out a way to start progressing to a 45-degree bench on an incline and a 60-degree bench eventually doing an incline. But, yeah, this is just a 30 typical, gym membership house 30-degree incline bench. This is what you're going to find in pretty much most standard gyms as far as an incline. So that's all I've got to work with. And I won't get on the Smith machine because it's just, I don't feel the need to get on a Smith machine, a bench that's pretty much an assisted bench. I don't know if you guys know that or not, but it's an assisted bench. So I'd much rather just do free weight. So that means you have to maintain all the control. So, yeah. So, yeah, we hit 245 for 2 sets, and now we're on 275. But I was getting a little fatigued at this point. But you can't sit back and let fatigue be a reason you can't, perform what you're out here doing. So we had to get it done. So we were trying to hit it for 5, and we wound up hitting it for 3. A little disappointed in not being able to get that 4th rep, because I felt like those reps were really, really good. You see the spot form there. It's really good. It's hitting right at the top of my chest. And that's kind of what I want. You should want the same thing when it comes to incline bench. but we're on a 295 now, and 295 it's a tricky bench for me because usually I can hit it for 2, but lately I've just been going for 1 just to get the explosion. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to hit it for 1 because after this, we're still going to try to hit 315 again. And yeah, we're going to go just 295 for 1 because I can feel it start to be excessively heavy at 295. So, but I love the explosion right there. You see it hit my chest and you see me come right back up. It's almost like I slingshotted it back up and it felt great. Now we're on that 3-plate bench once again. My guy Eddie right there spotting me. He works out heavy too. Sometimes we'll work out together. Give a shout out to Eddie. Yeah, we got 315 sitting on the rack, and I like how my chest is already sitting, and I like how the way my arms are already flared out. I feel like it's going to be a good lift, and I always tell if it's going to be a good lift by the way I unrack it. If I unrack it really good, I know I'm going to hit it, and I unrack that really, really good. So I already knew that I was going to be able to get that right back up. And so I always love to unrack my own weight. And now we're on. A lot of people were telling me in the comments in one of my last videos that they don't see me doing very many pull-ups anymore. So I wanted to give you guys a quick glimpse. I am working on something with the pull-ups. We're trying to hit 30 straight pull-ups. Now, I've hit 30 straight pull-ups. Even 40, 47 is my max as far as reps. But I'm trying to do 30 and then a muscle up. Not a lot of people can do 30 straight pulls and then muscle up after that. So that was 20, what you just saw. So 20 muscle up, 20 straight pulls, and then I'm going to try to muscle up. You've seen me do it probably in the past, and I can still do it. So it just shows you that the power that I've put in and the strength that I've gained to be able to handle that kind of motion, because muscling up is not easy. And so, yeah, you guys subscribe to the channel. I'm going to take you to my closeout video.
What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Sonic Fit, man. Back for another video. Another pump reveal. And of course, I did some new exercises today. I'm gonna just jump right into it. You guys have been seeing me doing behind the neck seated, so today, I did behind the neck standing. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it's a lot harder than those. I shouldn't say harder, but more difficult than seated behind the neck. Either way, it's hard. Both of them are hard, that's for sure. They're very difficult. Just like getting the shirt off when you got a pump going. So, yeah, feeling really good. Yeah, you guys saw me do more incline bench. I did behind the neck press today, standing. And there's a reason for that, okay? I don't know if you guys know this about bench pressing or not, but if you just do incline bench and skip the other two, your bench numbers will climb for all 3. So that's why you see me do incline a lot, because it's increasing my bench numbers on my decline. And when I actually do flat benches, my numbers go up on that too. So it's a win-win exercise. You talk about doing just one exercise versus doing all 3. So that's why I do. Not exclusively incline, but definitely my volume has been more incline lately. And so
you realize I'm married, so I got to put my wife first.
My chest, my shirt, my shoulders. So
I got to put my wife first.
Kind of why I'm liking it too. And then behind the neck, standing or seated, but standing is definitely more difficult. You have to have way more control standing, because you can't really do the push press when you're doing behind the neck. You can do it a little bit, but you can't really get into it because you have to maintain more control than anything. So behind the neck is definitely better for control and for power, because trying to balance that bar behind your neck is very dangerous. I ain't gonna lie, it's a recipe for disaster. So just be careful when you're doing that exercise. Like I said before, to start off light, it's not easy to do that exercise at all. So, but I've been doing press for a minute, so I can handle the pressure of pushing upward even behind my neck. But if you're not used to doing press and you go behind the neck first, it's dangerous. Very treacherous exercise. So just be aware before you do something like that. You We want to have the depth development, the shoulder development needs to be really, really secure because there's a lot of weight on that bar. And so, as you guys saw in that last rep at 185, I couldn't get it. But I still had to maintain control because I had to still rack it. I had nobody spotting me. So that's why it's important to still be able to handle that weight even when you can't lift it, because I'm at a disadvantage with this bar behind my neck and I can't raise it up, but I still have to maintain control of it to still get it racked. So it's not easy to do that, but once you get to that, once you keep pushing to get there, you'll understand. If you're gonna start pressing behind the neck, I definitely would probably have a spot. I probably should have had a spot at the 185. 175 I did, but I also did it the day before, so I felt pretty comfortable doing it. And so that's why I went ahead and hit the 175. But amongst other things, I've sustained 2 injuries, all while doing this. First one was 1,000% my fault. I guess all injuries are at some point our fault. We took the chance to do something. So the first one was just an ego thing. I was spotting somebody, right? I was spotting somebody on the bench, decline bench, and he had 225 on there, and he was exhausted, so he couldn't get up. He couldn't lift the bar, so I had to spot him. So we racked it on the second tier instead of the top tier, and then my genius of self shows up and decides he wants to, well, let me just set it up top for you. And I tried to set it up top. I tried to rack it from the spot side, which is not wise to do, even though I can easily do rows for 225 and 245 and so forth. But it's not the same. It's not the same when you're on a bench. I'm at a disadvantage being behind it. And so I sprained my wrist in the process. Strained a tendon in it and it sprained. So if you notice in the video, I'm always wrapping this wrist real tight. In the video, it's probably gonna show it's my right wrist. Feeling pretty good right now, but push-ups are tough, but turning my wrist a certain way does trigger the pain. So we're trying to maintain it. And rest is needed, but of course when you work out 5 days a week, that can be a little tough. So it's just something I did. It's just a freak accident, just a bad decision to do that. Didn't need to do it. Could have took the weight off. Could have got him on one side, me on the other side. Typical things I've done 100 times, and I decided to just, I can do it. I can do it myself. And I still didn't rank it, and I hurt myself. So just be careful. Sometimes we get injured in ways that we don't think. So that's how it happened to me. And the other one is this knee. You guys have seen it. Prior to all these videos, I've been sustaining this knee injury, and I went to a medical doctor last week, and I found out I don't know if it's torn or if it's sprained, but I know it's an injury to the meniscus. So gotta go get an MRI done, and we'll find out exactly how bad the strain or tear is, and we'll proceed from there. But that's what I've been doing, maintaining that injury in the leg, which is why I can't really do legs, which I'm glad I kind of took it easy on the legs, because a meniscus injury is very, I should say, tender. You can easily make it worse. So if it's torn, we'll go from there. I'm hoping it's just sprained. But either way, it's an injury. So we're trying to kind of like ease our way back into leg exercises, but light. And so I'm working towards that. I'm not recording anything because it's just lightweight. It's nothing really to see. But yeah, torn meniscus, or not torn meniscus, it could be torn, but a meniscus injury. And if you're wondering what a meniscus injury is, it's like the cushions between your femur bone from your thigh and your patella bone from your calf. There are two, it's almost like O-rings, or just the cushions that allow you to jump up and down without any pain in your bones. So it's kind of like marshmallows in between your two bones, if you're familiar with what they are. There's one on each side, and if there's pain, which I have, it could be a rupture or a tear or a sprain, but it makes it difficult to squat down, and sometimes you don't have any lateral movement, so I'm struggling there too. It's just a tough injury to try to work through, and so that's kind of what I've been taking it easy on the legs lately, so I actually found out what it is. So, but once we get it solved, of course I'll jump back on the legs and we'll get everything going again. So, but until then, you know, don't forget you guys subscribe to the channel, drop a like, drop a comment, you know, wish me well on this knee injury. I think my wrist will probably heal in the next couple weeks. You know, it hasn't stopped me from, I can't really do bench, but I can do incline. So incline and seated and standing overhead, there's really no pain in my wrist. But if I do decline and flat, there's a lot of pain in that. So I can't really do those two exercises, which is okay, because I can still get gains through the incline. So just gotta be careful. But you know, you gotta be careful out there when you're working out. Things can happen. It's a lot of weight we're moving, so just be careful, be mindful when you're moving something. It's always better to use a teamwork, you know, team lift. You know, you don't really see me doing a lot of lifting with a spot, but you know, when it gets heavy, I'll use a spot. So just keep that in mind, guys. Like I said, subscribe to the channel, drop a like, drop a comment. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.